That's my public apology. Don't ask for no more. I'm just kidding. I love y'all, and I'm so honored to be in the house of the Lord yet again. Yet another time. At this time, if you have any children that you've signed up for Sunday school, you are free to release them. They are ready for your babies. Y'all see how I'm remembering things today. It's going well. I didn't really remember. I kind of wrote it down 15 times, but that's okay too. Give you guys time to get situated. I'm going to come to you today from the book of Titus. But before I can even get there, God reminded me of a joke, and it was sent to me when somebody was going through something. So I'm going to tell it one more time because it's fitting for this lesson on today. And so in this joke, it was a family and a son-in-law and a mother-in-law. We all know how mother-in-laws or in-laws can be. I don't because I don't got one. But for all of you who do, I know that there can be a little bit of a tension that rises up with in-laws. And so that's where this joke comes from. And it's funny to me, so hopefully you laugh too. For those of you who remember, laugh again. Okay? If you remember this joke, laugh again. But it was Christmas time, and they were handing out gifts, and the son-in-law gave his mother-in-law a gift, and he stood waiting for her to open it, waiting for her to be excited about the gift that she had given him. And she opens the gift, and it's an address to her burial plot. And she gets all upset, and she's mad. Why would you give me this? Why would you speak this over me? And she's upset. Well, Christmas rolls around again, and she doesn't get a gift from her son-in-law. And she looks at him and says, why didn't you get me a gift? And he says, because you still haven't used the one I got you last year. So in the midst of that, sometimes we see and we use God in this same manner of grace. And so when I was looking at Titus, and I was going to come up with the title on my own because I feel like getting back into teacher mode, but I didn't. I'm going to use the ones that Jeremiah used in his study Bible. And it says, trained by saving grace. Trained by saving grace. You know how you often say, I'm going to teach you how to treat me? I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. Trained by grace. By his saving grace. And it says in Titus chapter 2, verse 11. And you don't have to stand if you don't want to because I'm going to read probably all of this. In Titus chapter 2, verse 11, it says, for the grace of God that brings salvation has appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lusts, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in the present age. In the present age. That means that the word does not return void. That means the word never expires. That means the word is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And so I'm going to read that again. For the grace of God that brings salvation has appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lusts, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in the present age. If you're taking notes, I want you to write that down. We are to live soberly, righteously, and godly in the present age, looking for the blessed hope and glorious appearing of our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm not planning for the worst and hoping for the best. I'm not planning for the best and hoping for the worst, but I am looking for the blessed hope and glorious appearing of our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ, who gave himself for us. See, I'm going to act right because something and someone has already been sacrificed for me. Some of you, you're asking for the next gift when you haven't even used grace yet. You haven't even put grace to the test. You haven't even been trained up by the gifts you've already been given, and you're asking God, but can you give me a baby? Can you give me a spouse? Can you use the grace that I already gave you? Can you touch me? Can you give me back my sight? Can you increase my finances? And God is saying in this season, can you use the grace that I've already given you? I've given you the gift of grace. This is something that you don't have to earn. I handed it to you. Can you use it? And the word continues and it says,